So in this video, we're going to go over Toppo in the Tournament of Power and try to determine whether or not he was wasted or if he was utilized effectively in both the anime and the manga. So first we're going to go over the anime and then the manga. So going all the way back to the exhibition matches, talking about Toppo's build-up here, and talk about kind of like foreshadowing for, or hype built up for what he could do in the Tournament of Power. So we have the Trio de Dangers in the exhibition match versus Goku, Boo, and Gohan, and then we have a really awesome fight that really helped to build up Toppo and his credibility with the Goku versus Toppo fights. Like, Toppo is easily manhandling Goku until he reaches his Super Saiyan Blue form, and then we're having this really cool fight, and then they decide to up the ante a little bit here with Goku using his Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken form, and then Toppo powers up as well, but unfortunately we're cut off at that moment to end the exhibition match there. So it kind of left us on a cliffhanger for like, oh man, like, was Toppo strong enough to take on this Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku or not? Like, I can't wait for the tournament to begin to see what this guy Toppo can do, but at the same time, this was also utilized as a way to hype Jiren up, because Toppo's like, you think I'm strong? This guy Jiren in our Pride Troopers is even stronger. So it's like, oh man, Toppo's been hyped up to be like, this guy is a force to be reckoned with, but there's a guy even stronger than that. Oh my god. So it's both used to hype up Toppo and Jiren at the same time. So during the preparation for the tournament, we got this really cool episode. We see Dispo, Casserole, and Toppo in his business suit, which was really awesome seeing these characters in their daily lives. It really adds a layer to their humanity, showing that, hey, these guys have their own worlds to defend, and they've got their own lives and stuff to defend. So that's really great. I wish we got more of that to show, to kind of really beat it in there, that all of these other universes have something to defend. But going on to the tournament, because we didn't get much of that. So Goku immediately abandons Gohan's plan to stick with the group because he's been really craving this rematch with Toppo, because he wants to see what Toppo is at his 100%, because he didn't get to see it. So he's been really craving this rematch, but being a battle royale, he's sidewinded and can't get that rematch. So we actually don't see a whole lot of Toppo in the tournament until the later episodes. So we have some really comedic moments with him and his ideas of justice. He goes and defends the magical girls and says, hey, it's not cool to attack them while they're transforming and doing their poses and stuff. You know, you gotta have some honor here with this. That there shows, as well as having like a comedic cushion to all the serious action going on. Comedic moment to show that he has this idea of justice and he's full of honor, and he won't discard his honor for, you know, cheap shots or just eliminating these guys by any means necessary, at least not yet. So he's kind of here and there in the tournament. He tries to attack Ultra Instinct Omen Goku when he first obtains it, and it's nothing. Like, we've seen Toppo is like at that blue level, man, and Goku's just dodging his justice flash like it's nothing. So it's like, okay, so now that you've established Toppo as how strong he is, now we're seeing how strong this Ultra Instinct Omen is, just by that little bit there. So yeah, in other words, he's not in it a whole lot. He goes up and fights Vegeta, mostly off screen. But the real character stuff with Toppo comes in the form of the God of Destruction Toppo, because they mentioned that he's a candidate to replace Belmod in the exhibition match, and that's a huge hype for his character. And it's like, okay, well, what does that entail? You know, he shows what that entails, what that God of Destruction like training and candidacy can do. And he decides through this character arc that he is now willing to sacrifice his honor and his, idea of justice for the sake of his universe, because he has to kind of utilize the God of Destruction power because he needs that boost. He needs that training that he's received to, because he wants his universe to survive. So I thought that was a really cool character arc for Toppo, because the anime actually took time to, build him up, and even though it didn't do much with him during the bulk of the arc, toward that ending there, he had a really cool character moment and actually did some awesome stuff. Now, in terms of what he actually did, he didn't really do much, really, in terms of eliminating people. He kind of acted as like a buffer to hold off 17 and Frieza, and then Vegeta for a little bit. So in terms of actually eliminating people, I don't think I think he was maybe wasted in that department. As a character, I don't think he was wasted. I think that he had a really cool character and offered a really interesting presence to the Battle Royale in general. Now, I thought it was really cool for him to be eliminated by Vegeta, and kind of acting again as another way for Vegeta's character, for him to overcome another limit. It may be dumb that Vegeta said, okay, well, I'm going to surpass my limits again, even though I just obtained this blue evolution form. I kind of think that their fight could have been a little bit better, I suppose you could say, other than Vegeta just powering up and then eliminating Toppo. But it also showed that Toppo is a major force to be reckoned with still, especially with this God of Destruction training. And he is able to take on Blue Evolution and actually, get the advantage above Vegeta as God of Destruction Toppo. So that showed that, man, this guy Toppo, he's badass, And I thought it was cool that he was eliminated by Vegeta, because it actually showed even a powered up Vegeta. It took a powered up Vegeta to get this guy down. So major credit to Toppo in the anime. But unfortunately, we have the manga's version of events, which, whether it's from a production standpoint, they need to finish so many chapters in so little time, or it's from an actual storytelling aspect, the pacing being such a breakneck pacing, which you could say that being a battle royale, it actually adds a certain layer of tension to the whole thing and actually feels like a battle royale. I feel that they could still utilize cinematic timing, really zero in on certain characters or certain events going on to add more depth or tension. That way you actually feel these eliminations when they happen, instead of just like, oh, this nameless, characterless, designed character just got eliminated, so what, At this point, it kind of feels like a lot of the eliminations felt pointless. Like it was pointless to have them there in the first place, because we didn't really take the time to actually go into and introduce these guys. That being said, Toppo did have a little bit more than the average tournament participant. He had his build-up from the exhibition match, showing that he's actually a really good fighter, like a smart fighter. At least that's what it felt like, and they actually had the build-up of saying, I'm a good God of Destruction candidate, and he actually mentions it again in the tournament. Unfortunately, during the tournament, he didn't really do much. He basically fought Vegeta during the entire time. During the earlier portions of the tournament, him and Dispo were teaming up against Super Saiyan Goku, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, Toppo knows that Goku can go Super Saiyan Blue, and he actually says it during their fight. So I'm like, okay, so what is stopping you here from smashing Goku to bits right now? Is Super Saiyan Blue not that much higher than Super Saiyan? Because Super Saiyan 3 is much higher than that, and Toppo's defeating a Super Saiyan Blue. So what is he thinking here? And then Goku turns into Super Saiyan Blue, knocks him on his butt, and I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe Toppo's not as smart of a fighter as I thought he was. Because then he just goes on to have this cool battle with Vegeta, and they are going blue level the whole time, basically. So, I mean, this kind of is what he does the whole time, and this leads into his elimination with Vegeta turning Super Saiyan Blue Evolution, basically, the manga version of it, and that just so happens to blow Toppo off into a floating piece of stage, and then Frieza, basically because Toppo is tired out and can't defend himself, I guess. So does that mean that Vegeta was also that tired out and then transforms into Blue Evolution and just has a lot more power again? So it just doesn't quite add up to me. This whole storyline seems very, very contrived for how Toppo is eliminated, and then Frieza just kind of hops on over, kicks Toppo up and over onto another piece of floating rock, even though Toppo's on the ground. So like the physics of that don't seem to add up to me, and like Toppo's just not even, it doesn't seem like he's even trying to defend himself here. And it's like, okay, well, what's the point of him even like hyping him up at all in this if you're just going to eliminate him in this way? So for my full thoughts on that, you can check out my manga chapter 40 review post-translation. But overall, I do feel that Toppo was wasted in the manga. I do like the God of Destruction candidacy stuff amounting to something, being something special instead of just like maybe a reason for him to be as strong as he is. But here it seems like he's nothing but a tool to hype Jiren up and hype Vegeta up and just hold off Vegeta during the bulk of the tournament. But obviously that's just my thoughts on it. What do you guys think? Do you think that Toppo was wasted in the Tournament of Power in Dragon Ball Super? As always, thank you very much for watching and take it easy.